Hi, Luke from Korg here. We're looking at the OP Six today, and it's an FM synthesizer, but it's not just an FM synthesizer, it's got altered FM, and we'll dive into exactly what that means a little bit later. But when people think of FM synthesis, they generally think of sounds like this. So kind of electric pianos, bells, sometimes spiky basses, that's what it's really well known for, and obviously it was over loads of records back in the day. But with the OP Six you can take it far beyond that. So for instance we can have some really nice lush big pads. Or even guitar type sounds like this one. That's a lovely ambient guitar with a slow attack, which is great for kind of soundscapes. What's great about the OP Six as well is we've made it easy. So FM traditionally was quite difficult to use, but now with this operator mixer, we've brought it right out onto the surface to be able to tweak the sounds very, very easily. So for instance, with this sound, we've got our 6 operators, and they're color coded. So operator 1, 2 and 4 there are the carriers, and 3, 5 and 6 are the modulators. The carriers are basically the regular sounds, and the modulators are somehow fed into the carriers. So we can adjust the levels of them by using the mixer to listen to them individually. So we've got like a bell type sound on operator 1, more of a plucked sound on operator 2, and on operator 4, more of a slow pad type sound. And then you can use the modulators to manipulate those carriers. So we can make it sound more metallic or change the tone of it. And then when we bring it all back together, then we can of course change the mix in real time. So that's one element that makes it easy. Also, we can see the algorithms really easily. So the algorithms are basically the way that all of the different operators are fed into each other. Originally there were 32 different algorithms. As you can see, I can scroll through and see what they all are, but we've actually added an extra 8 to give you 40. And there's a user algorithm as well, which is fully editable. So you can go in there and tweak and actually route everything as you want. So with this particular sound here, we've got algorithm 28 at the moment. That's the sort of layout of it, if you like. So that's what it sounds like at the moment. But if we were to change the algorithm to something completely different, it will change the sound. So we can go to something like that. So you can quite radically change the sound just by changing the algorithm as well. And like I said, you've got a user algorithm as well. So that's really useful for kind of routing things your way. If you've got a particular way if you've got a particular idea in mind that you want to go with as far as routing, or you can use it to create some really unusual sounds like this, for example. And of course, with having all this hands-on control, you can really dive in and start tweaking those FM sounds in brand new ways. Another new feature which we've added with the altered FM synthesis is the fact that you're not tied into just using sine waves as you were with traditional FM. Now we can press mode there, and you can see we can have a whole list of different waveforms, including different types of noises, additive waveforms, and with this particular one we've got saw waves. So we could produce a sound like this, which normally you would only really get from subtractive synthesis. And you can see, using that algorithm, we've just literally got 6 operators or oscillators, as you can kind of think of them in this context, in a row, and then we can mix them and just listen to them. We can have different waveforms on each of the 6 operators. You could even have a sound like this, so you could have a square type pad. You can see we've got a square wave there on operator 1. So as well as these 5 original FM modes, we've added a new one, and that is called an effect operator. And you can see that this sound has that, and it's a wave shaper, but you've got a choice of 10 different effects. So this is one of them as an example. So really nice glassy kind of pad there, and using the mod wheel to switch through the ratio. So that's basically assigned to one of these knobs here to give you those lovely harmonics and run through the harmonic series. The mod wheel is really good because it's completely assignable. You can assign lots of parameters to it, and every sound that you have will have predetermined parameters on there. So it's a great way just to dive in and start experimenting with your sound. Here's another example of the new effect operator. So this is using now a wave shaper effect. So you get this sort of thing going on. You've got some nice reverb effect applied again to the mod wheel there. This is using, again, the effect operator and a comb filter this time to, again, get a sound you wouldn't traditionally get out of an FM synth. That really nice plucked sound. And using some of the other operator modes, you've got things like regular FM, you've got ring mod, but you've also got filter FM, which you can give you some fabulous motion to the sound. you've got all that kind of motion swirling around, which is really nice. And you can go super contemporary if you want to as well, with sounds like this. So that's using a variety of these different modes on different operators, because you can really stack them up exactly how you want. We've got an amazing filter section built in as well, something again you wouldn't have traditionally got on an original FM synthesizer. So we can take a really nice pad sound like this, go into the filter section, we can see the filter settings, so what type of filter it is, the cutoff and resonance setting as well. But then we can go in and say, okay, let's have a different type of filter on this. Let's go and use one of our legendary synth filters on it, like a Poly 6 or an MS-20. We're going to go for a Poly 6 this time. And of course, we can tweak out the cutoff there as well. Or we could take a classic FM sound like this bass and run it through something else. So let's stick that through an MS-20 filter and crank up the resonance a little bit, and also change the waveform. So instead of a sine wave, of course we can choose what we want. So let's go for a square wave. So we can change the sound beyond all recognition just by putting it through a slightly different filter, which is really nice. We've got a great effects section built in as well. 3 blocks of effects. So if I press effect there, you can see you've got effects 1, 2 and 3. We can page through them. So we've got a chorus on this sound. We've got some EQ and we've got reverb. So at the moment it sounds like this. But let's take effects block 2 and change it from an EQ to a guitar amp model. Absolutely phenomenal for making those big, washy, cinematic type soundscapes. We've also got an arpeggiator built in, so I'm going to go into some more of my favourites here. So I should explain what I'm doing here. I've actually got 16 of my favourite sounds in a bank here, and then 4 different banks, A, B, C and D, so I can quickly go through them and select what I want. So bank B number 2 there is this arpeggiated sound. I can turn on my arpeggiator here, and it's latched at the moment, so it's carrying on after I leave the keyboard. If I want to see the settings of it, Shift, Arpeggio, see how it's latched, and this is the pattern type, so I can put it into manual if I want to as well. So I can specify the order that it plays in. So it's really nice to have that arpeggiator built in. Plus you've got a 16-step sequencer as well. So this particular sound here, if I switch over to my sequencer mode, you'll see when I press play, it'll play through the 16 steps. Of course I can record my own of those. Every single sound comes included with a pattern, which is brilliant. to give you that kind of inspiration. But if you want to clear it, you can just hold down clear and just clear the whole thing and then start from scratch. What's nice about the sequences as well, you can have it playing and then start manipulating it with your faders here, or the mod wheel. You can even apply an arpeggiator to it. So it's absolutely brilliant. The OP Six, an amazing FM synth with altered FM features such as different operator modes, different waveforms. You've got all your filters in there from the classic Korg filters and some new ones as well. Amazing effects. And if you ever get stuck for that moment of inspiration, you've got a randomized feature. So you can just press the dice there, roll it away, and just see what it comes up with, which is amazing. You'll also notice that I've been using my librarian software here as well. So this is a great way to manage all your sounds and then save them into these favorite banks in a very quick and easy way as well. So there we go. I'm Luke from Korg. This is the OP Six. Go and check it out.